traveling to Europe in 2025 won't be the same as it is today. New rules are changing everything, from how you enter the continent to how you pay for things. Did you know that in just a few years, you'll need a special travel pass just to visit many European countries? Or that carbon taxes might soon make flying a lot more expensive? Europe is making big moves to protect the environment, and these changes could cost you more money if you're not prepared. In this video, we'll break down everything you need to know so you don't get caught off guard. We'll talk about the latest tech at borders, the new travel visa systems, and how your carbon footprint could affect your travel costs. Plus, we'll reveal some secrets on how to avoid paying extra fees and still travel smart. Stay tuned, because these new rules could change the way you think about traveling to Europe forever. Chapter 1. The Passport Revolution. How new tech will change your entry to Europe in 2025. The way you enter Europe is about to change dramatically. Gone are the days of long lines at passport control. Technology is taking over, with biometric passports leading the way. You may soon find yourself breezing through borders with just a scan of your face or fingerprints. These smart gates are already in use at some airports, and by 2025, they'll be in more places. This shift isn't just for convenience, it's part of a bigger plan to increase security and speed up travel. The European Union plans to roll out these systems across more airports and even train stations. Imagine not having to pull out your passport or even a boarding pass, it's all digital. This tech isn't just for European citizens. Visitors from the US and other countries will also benefit. In fact, some airports have already seen waiting times drop by up to 40% after implementing biometric systems. That's a major time saver for travelers. But there's a catch. You'll need to make sure your passport has the latest biometric features. If not, you might still face the long lines of the past. So, before you travel, check your passport's expiration date and make sure it meets the new standards. This shift to biometric technology is just the beginning. Soon, even your phone might act as your passport. With apps like Digital Travel Pass, you could be scanned at the gate without ever taking out a physical document. By 2025, getting into Europe could feel like walking through a security checkpoint at the airport, fast and efficient. This tech is expected to cut down on human error and make your travel experience smoother. The future of border entry is here, and it's faster, easier, and more secure. Chapter 2. Visa 2.0. What you need to know about the ETIAS system. Europe is changing the way it handles entry for travelers, especially with the new European Travel Information and Authorization System, ETIAS. Starting in 2025, many travelers from outside the EU, including Americans, will need to apply for ETIAS before entering any Schengen area country. Think of it like the US ESTA system, but with more questions and a slightly longer processing time. Don't worry, though, it's still a straightforward process that can be done online. The good news? ETIAS approval is fast, usually taking just a few minutes to a few days. The bad news? If you don't apply, you could be denied entry. So, don't leave it until the last minute. Experts predict that over 30 million people will use ETIAS annually. The application asks basic questions like your travel plans, health status, and criminal history. If you're approved, the authorization lasts for 3 years or until your passport expires. That means you won't need to reapply every time you visit Europe. But make sure you apply ahead of time. You won't be able to get ETIAS approval on the spot. To make it easier, the system will be linked to your passport, making the process seamless when you arrive. This system isn't just about tracking tourists, it's designed to boost security. In fact, the EU aims to reduce illegal immigration and prevent security threats through these enhanced entry controls. So, before booking your flight, take a few minutes to complete your ETIAS application. It's a small step that could save you a lot of stress and potential travel delays. By 2025, ETIAS could become just as routine as booking a hotel room or buying travel insurance. Make sure you're on top of this rule, or risk being left behind at the gate. Chapter 3. Carbon taxes and green travel. Paying for your carbon footprint in 2025. In the next few years, you'll notice a big shift in the way Europe handles travel. New carbon taxes are coming into play, and travelers will be paying for their environmental impact. These taxes are part of Europe's aggressive climate goals, aiming to reduce emissions by 55% by 2030. As travel contributes significantly to carbon pollution, it's no surprise that flights and car rentals will be some of the first industries to be taxed. Starting in 2025, expect to see higher costs for certain flights and services, especially short-haul ones. In fact, several European countries, including France, are already considering a green tax on flights within the EU. It's all part of a broader initiative to promote sustainable tourism. For example, in 2025, you might see an extra fee when booking flights, which goes directly to offsetting your carbon footprint. These taxes could also extend to car rentals and hotel stays, as cities work to become more eco-friendly. But don't worry, this isn't all bad news. More European cities are investing in sustainable infrastructure, like electric car rentals and green hotels. In fact, electric cars are expected to make up 50% of all rentals in Europe by 2025. You can also expect more sustainable travel options, such as high-speed trains, which produce less carbon than planes. If you're traveling on a budget, be aware that carbon taxes might add a little extra to your trip costs. But if you're eco-conscious, there are tons of ways to offset your footprint, like choosing trains over planes or staying in eco-friendly hotels. The good news is that many of these changes are making Europe's most popular tourist spots less crowded and cleaner. Over-tourism has been a major issue for years, but carbon taxes could help limit the environmental damage while preserving these places for future generations. So, while your travel costs may rise, you'll be contributing to a more sustainable planet. Keep an eye on the carbon tax policies in the countries you're visiting, and always look for greener travel options. It's a small price to pay for protecting the planet and ensuring that future generations can enjoy the same beautiful destinations we do. If you're loving the tips so far, don't forget to subscribe for more travel hacks and updates on how to stay ahead of the curve. Chapter 4. Local versus Global. Navigating the rise of authentic tourism rules. Travel in 2025 won't be like it used to be. Europe is cracking down on mass tourism to protect its culture, environment, and heritage. While this may seem like a challenge, it actually opens up a world of authentic travel experiences. Cities like Barcelona and Venice are already rolling out new rules to limit the number of tourists. They are focusing on attracting visitors who truly care about the places they visit. In fact, the European Union has launched a program aimed at promoting slow tourism, which encourages travelers to explore at a more leisurely pace. The idea is to spend more time in one place, getting to know the local culture, instead of rushing through a list of tourist spots. This is great news for travelers who want to get beyond the crowded tourist traps. Over-tourism has made some cities unrecognizable, with local residents even being pushed out of the city center. For example, Venice, one of the most visited cities in the world, is considering a daily cap on visitors. New rules are being enforced to manage tourism, like pre-booking tickets for popular attractions. In fact, some places may even start charging tourism taxes to access certain areas, which helps fund conservation and maintenance. These rules don't just apply to big cities, either. Smaller towns and rural areas are also embracing the idea of sustainable tourism. The goal is to ensure that travelers respect the culture and resources they're experiencing. For example, hiking paths and historical sites are being managed to prevent overcrowding. So, what's the strategy for avoiding the negative impact of these new rules? Plan ahead, book tickets in advance, and think about traveling during the off-season. Doing so will help you avoid crowded attractions and experience local life the way the residents do. By 2025, the most rewarding travel experiences will be the ones where you go off the beaten path and really connect with a place. Look for destinations that focus on sustainability and authentic experiences, like eco-tourism destinations or cultural festivals. Chapter 5. Cashless Europe, the end of the wallet? Navigating the digital economy. Europe is quickly transitioning into a cashless society, and by 2025, most countries will be fully digital. This change is driven by the rise of mobile payments and digital currencies. In countries like Sweden, almost 80% of payments are already digital, and the trend is catching on across Europe. In fact, some European cities have even started banning cash transactions in certain places, particularly in major tourist areas. This shift means that you'll need to embrace mobile wallets like Apple Pay, Google Pay, or digital bank apps to pay for almost everything. Cash may still be accepted in some small towns, but the days of carrying paper money are numbered. It's not just about paying for your morning coffee, it's also about how you manage your travel expenses. Travel apps like Revolut and N26 allow you to store multiple currencies in one account, saving you from worrying about exchange rates. You can instantly convert your money and make payments with a tap. Not only does this make things easier, but it also helps you keep track of your spending. On average, travelers using digital payment systems save about 10% on foreign exchange fees compared to traditional methods. The move to a cashless system also reduces the risk of theft or losing your wallet. In fact, digital payments are said to be up to 5 times safer than cash, thanks to encryption and fraud prevention systems. While this may sound convenient, it's important to be aware of potential issues. Not all places are ready to go cashless, so it's smart to have a backup plan, like a prepaid travel card or a small amount of cash in case of emergencies. Another strategy is to stay updated on which apps are most commonly accepted in the countries you're visiting. By 2025, the travel experience will be smoother and quicker without the need for cash. Travelers who are already using digital payment methods will be ahead of the game, so make sure to get comfortable with mobile wallets before your trip. The future of travel is digital, and getting on board now will make your European adventures even easier. If you found these tips useful, make sure to subscribe and get more updates on the latest travel trends for 2025. Chapter 6. Overnight Transit in 2025. How train and flight schedules will evolve. Overnight travel in Europe is about to get a major upgrade. By 2025, sleeper trains and high-speed rail will be more popular than ever. The shift toward rail travel is Europe's response to the environmental impact of short-haul flights. With carbon taxes increasing and sustainability at the forefront, train travel is seen as a greener alternative. In fact, European rail companies are investing heavily in expanding their networks, with many cities offering direct, overnight routes that connect major destinations. For example, the new Nightjet service will allow you to travel from Vienna to Brussels while you sleep, waking up fresh and ready for a day of exploring. These trains aren't just about saving time, they're also about saving money. While a flight might cost you more in baggage fees and airport transfers, a sleeper train often includes the price of your bed, dinner, and breakfast. Train travel is becoming so convenient that it's expected to reduce flights between major European cities by 25% by 2025. The European Union is heavily promoting train travel with its Green Deal, which focuses on boosting infrastructure for sustainable travel. For long-distance journeys, these overnight trains are ideal. Not only are they eco-friendly, but they also offer a unique experience. You can meet fellow travelers and enjoy the relaxed, scenic route. Trains are also becoming more luxurious, with sleeper cars offering private cabins, high-speed Wi-Fi, and gourmet meals. These trains are more than just transportation, they're an experience in themselves. As for flights, the trend is shifting toward fewer, more eco-conscious options. Budget airlines are adapting by offering carbon offsets and lower emissions options. The strategy is clear. Take the train when you can, and choose flights only for longer distances. With fewer airports to navigate, less security hassle, and a smoother travel experience, overnight trains will soon be the go-to choice for many European travelers. Whether you're heading to Paris, Milan, or Berlin, overnight rail travel is an unforgettable way to experience Europe in 2025.